Welcome to episode 3 of the Speak Up Sports Podcast with Cash, Chris, and Shad. What's going on, fellas?
What's up?
Yo,
What's up? What's up, man?
What's up? What's up? Back at it again. Great second week of the NFL with some great games. You know, we had the Chiefs and the Jaguars. We had the Bengals and the Ravens was a big game. Sunday night football with the Dolphins and the Patriots. You know, your trash ass Eagles and the Vikings on Thursday night
Oh
football.
my god.
But with that being said, let's go ahead and recap the second week. What are your biggest takeaways from the week, guys?
Ooh, Chris, I'll let you start, man. Go ahead, start. Because my takeaway got to do with your team.
Why my team?
Because y'all
What we
played.
do to
No,
y'all?
I'm just going in order, right? So
Oh
we
my
started for the
god.
Thursday night.
Biggest takeaway. I called the game, our game on Thursday. I said it was gonna be a close game. I didn't think we was gonna blow them out. So my prediction was spot on if you ask me.
I mean, y'all
So
should have blew them out, though. Y'all let them
shoulda.
come back.
Hey man, we got a W. That's all that matters at this point. We got some. We got some things to work on. I understand that we got some things to work on, but hey, we're gonna be good. It was some good games this weekend. I want to talk about the Chiefs and Jaguars game. That was a kind of interesting game. Not a lot of points being scored.
Yeah, like Pat threw for 300, a couple touchdowns, but like it was still like a struggle for them to score. It was a struggle for
Right.
both teams to score really in that game.
I was about to say, one of the things most people talk about is the Chief defense, but they held them to 3 field goals.
Yeah.
Jacksonville was moving the ball up and down the field, but when they got to the red zone, they had a couple plays that they couldn't get their feet down. Well, really more than a couple with both Zay Jones and Calvin Ridley. But the Chiefs, I know a lot of people have been talking about their defense, and then obviously after week 1, they were talking about the receivers and the drops and stuff like that, and saying that they'll figure it out. But it's just something seems off about the offense.
I was just about to say, it just doesn't feel. Hey, Airbnb.
Yeah,
I mean, maybe that's it. Maybe
that
that's
could
it. But
be
it's definitely something missing. It's not the same. It's not the same pizzazz. It's not the same dominance like that we're used to seeing. And that shit is real. It's not just because it's early in the season. Like I think it's something different than that. I think it's just personnel.
It might just be a trust thing right now in terms of Pat trusting receivers. Because even he's kind of making some. He always kind of plays a little bit on the edge, but it works because he's fucking Patrick Mahomes. But it was a lot of sloppy play. Yeah. I'll just say that a lot of sloppy play in that game. Another big takeaway for me was the Ravens getting a dominant win over the Bengals this week. Joe Burrow, they played well for the most part, but ultimately at the end of the game, the Ravens defense kind of started teeing off on him, and then he came up limping. So that's going to be a big thing to look at moving forward. Well, really, we can start there. What do y'all think about that? Y'all think Joe should kind of keep pushing, or you think he should sit out? What are your thoughts?
You know what? That made me think that he came back too early because is this not the same calf injury that he had?
Yeah, he said he tweaked
during training camp, right?
Yeah,
and they kept him out, and even I felt like it was going to be an issue because even Jamar Chase said himself, he was like, I'd rather him sit out a couple of games than to hurry back because we gonna need him. And so, did he hurry come back? Could he have waited? Maybe.
It's tough to say that now too, like 2 games in, 0-2, because like hindsight is like, well, if they knew they were gonna go 0-2, no point.
Right, we would have kept him out.
But now he's played these 2 games and he tweaked it. They got an earlier bye. I think it's week 7. So they got about 4 more games before that. I think he should sit out. Honestly, I think he should sit out to the bye and just is what it is. You just paid this man $200 and $10 million guaranteed. like you got to protect your asset at this point. So this season is gonna be tough. Yeah, but
I agree. I think they should sit him down, especially after watching Aaron Rodgers with a similar. Well, yeah, we don't obviously know if it was specifically the same injury, but it was both an injury involving the calf. And then, with Aaron Rodgers obviously tearing his Achilles, we don't want the same thing to happen with Joe Burrow, especially when it's preventable. This is something that you've seen. You saw it happen during training camp. You sat him down during training camp. I don't think that they should go ahead and keep him playing if if they know like, hey, he's already tweaked it, he's not looking right, go ahead, sit him down, because we saw the same thing, like I said, with Aaron Rodgers, but another kind of big star that the same thing kind of happened to was KD a few years ago when the
when he came
Warriors were
back
going on the
for the
championship,
finals.
because that was a calf injury as well, that he ended up coming back early and then tearing his Achilles. So I would suggest him sitting out, because
and then I mean, and his play on top of that, like, is limiting how much he can do. You can tell he don't trust driving that ball deep,
yeah,
and
definitely.
and that's something that they're missing in their offense, which is a big part of their offense, especially with Jamar and T. Like, even Jamar said it. I don't know if he said it right after the game or the next day, but he was like, we need to go deep more. We need more deep routes to open up the underneath stuff. And he's not throwing it deep. Like, of course, he took a couple shots there, but he's also throwing the ball 40 times.
Yeah, a lot of check downs.
Like, it's a lot of check downs, a lot of throwaways. There's no point. Like, you better off just rolling with your backup and just wait till you get healthy. I mean, it's a tough decision because they do want to win, but they are
especially already 0-2. Yeah, that is tough.
At the end of the day,
you got to do what's right by the franchise. If you expect that's a large investment, obviously the largest investment,
especially for a quarterback that's already been injured. He already tore his ACL once. He's not like he's had his fair share of bumps. So, like, you need to be careful with this one. So yeah, I mean, it's tough. The Bengals, of course, I picked them to win the AFC. So this shit, these quarterback injuries are fucking with my pick. But that's
I want to actually, you know what? I want to stay in the division, man. Let's talk about the Browns because they got a great ass defense, and Deshaun just not the same, man. It's frustrating watching that game because it's like, man.
Yeah, if they had a legit quarterback that actually knew,
you really cost your team the game. Like, your defense is playing what they're supposed to do. They doing what they're supposed to do, and it's just stupid stuff. Like, come on, what you grabbing the man face, man, for twice?
Yeah,
twice. Like,
the offense just looks so bad.
It's bad.
The defense allowed one touchdown all season so far, just one in that game, and then they lost 3 fumbles on. Yeah, you lost 3 fumbles on offense. You lose Chubb. You throw a pick, a bad one. Well, I mean, he got tipped, but still, it went for 6. So it turned out to be bad.
Yeah. But as you mentioned, Deshaun's not looking right, and it seems that he's starting to get in his head, kind of like you mentioned with the uncharacteristics, with the 2 personal fouls, with the face mask. Like I said, pushing the ref. Losing Chubb's gonna hurt. I mean, I think last episode I had mentioned that Chubb, we don't talk enough about how he's one of the best running backs in the league, if not the best running back in the league. And now, obviously, there's a big blow to them.
That injury was nasty, man.
Yeah.
Terrible.
I'm glad that they didn't show it on the replay, but of course, you see it on Twitter and Instagram and stuff like that. I hope he has a speedy recovery. Hope this isn't the end and the last that we see of Chubb, because obviously he had another devastating injury in college.
Yeah, it very well could be, though. I mean,
that's tough.
That's a short shelf life, man.
Yeah, he's 27. He's 27. He'll be 28 in December. That's about the time we're running backs. I mean, usually.
And the thing about it is that he actually did get paid. Obviously, he didn't get paid like the super high contract, but he did ended up getting paid, and he was kind of the model of, this is a running back that you can't pay, and he continues his consistency. And then obviously the running backs are just having a tough year with Saquon getting hurt, him getting hurt, Jonathan Taylor not playing thus far. J.K. Dobbins get hurt. Josh Jacobs hasn't played too well either after his holdout. So it's tough for the running backs. It's definitely tough for the running backs.
Crazy that is coming out. I mean, it's like this every season, but it's like amplified now, especially after everything that happened all season. Let's stay in that game. I want to get your thoughts on Kenny Pickett, right? So, is he going to be the answer at quarterback for this team? And I feel like not a lot of people are like highlighting that fact that really Kenny Pickett is not that guy. Like, he's really not. Like, we've seen a lot. I mean, he came in last year after week 6 and played the rest of the season, started the rest of the season. But he has a good bit under his belt, and he's still coming out making like stupid mistakes. And it's just like, I don't know. I get the Steelers' run game is not what it used to be.
I think it kind of goes back to what I said about Matt Canada last episode, like that. The offensive play calling is
But
it's a mixture of both. It's a
okay,
mixture
yeah,
of both.
it's not all on the play calling though. Like
It's
Kenny
not
Pickett
all
is
on the play calling, but I mean, this offense doesn't look very different from Mitch Trubisky. Doesn't look very different from Big Ben that couldn't throw the ball, with much velocity at the end of his career either.
Right.
Matt Canada. I mean, they're gonna run him out of town. I mean, at the end of the day, regardless of if Kenny Pickett might not be that guy, as you said, but I mean, it's a little early to tell. I mean, we're not even 2 seasons in. He didn't play every game last year, obviously, and kind of came in and almost led him to a playoffs, led him to a positive record. So it's something to watch for sure, but it's not looking good. It's definitely not looking good. It's not looking good.
That defense is legit, but it's tough.
Ain't gonna be too many more games where I mean, obviously the defense with Highsmith and TJ Watt, they coming off the edge going crazy, but I mean, as we talked about how bad Deshaun Watson's been, you're not gonna always play bad quarterbacks, especially with if Joe Burrow comes back. If Joe Burrow ends up playing for the rest of the season, you still got him in division as well as Lamar. So who the hell knows what the hell is going on with Deshaun Watson? So
that shit is just crazy though. You got he making $230 million guaranteed. He's under for 3 more seasons. Like the worst contract.
What are you talking about? Oh, Deshaun?
Yeah.
See, what's crazy was I gave him a pass because he been out, and so I'm like, okay. Last year you come back mid season after 6-7 games, probably a little more than that. I think
he only played like 6 games.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then I'm like, okay, he played. Then he's coming back for a whole off season. Maybe we see somewhat of a return of what he used to look like back in Houston. But man, the first game I chalked it up as bad weather because Joe Burrow had a bad game. But man, this game, I watched that game through and through, and I'm just looking like, damn.
And I think the worst part is that he makes like plays here and there to kind of keep keep the monkey off his back, I guess you could say. What I'm trying to say. Like he
makes plays with his legs, but
he makes plays here and there. So it's like, oh, well, he's not.
But terrible, that could also be a thing where he's just not meshing with that Kevin Stefanski and that offensive staff, because even on that pick, you can kind of see he's expecting I can't even remember. I think it was Bryant, the tight end. He was expecting him to kind of go on that out route, and he threw it a little out, and then there was also
he cut it off.
Running back. But there was a running back right there. He's expecting that running back to clear it out.
Right. Yeah. But he didn't. Yeah. Okay.
It was supposed to be either. It was supposed to be an incompletion, really. It was supposed to just drop it because that defender was not supposed to be there.
Not supposed to be there.
He was because So. I mean, it's a tough, but I don't know.
It's gonna be interesting, Browns, and I mean that Chubb's a big blow to their chances. Obviously, they brought back Kareem Hunt today.
We'll see whoever the running back was,
Jerome Ford.
Jerome Ford, yeah.
He looked straight for now.
He played well. I mean, they've got a good offensive line, so at the end of the day, I'm sure him and Kareem Hunt would do well behind the line. But I mean, you can't. Nick Chubb is consistent. He's always running hard and smart player as well. So
that's gonna be
tough. It's real tough.
Let's talk about because I do want to talk about this. Let's talk about the other Monday night game that happened against the Panthers and the Saints, right? So
let's start off with Slant Boy and Derrick Brown. What's going on? What's going on there at the end of the game?
Banging, bro. What's up with that?
Hey, you seen him running back there though? Hey, he ran when he ran behind the corner, and you seen Derrick Brown kind of like do the little jab.
That man said they set me up. Hey, shit, you see that big somebody 350 coming at you? I say the same thing. I ain't messing with that boy.
No, bro.
Nah, you got it, bro.
Yeah, for real. But yeah, so the Saints won that game by 3. The game wasn't that close, though. Of course, Panthers scored late. It was really dominant performance by their defense. But I at what point do we start really? And I get it's only 2 games. I get it's Bryce Young. But like, are we just chalking it up to him not having weapons, him just being new? Like, but on the flip side, you see CJ, and he throwing that thing. So it's like,
I mean.
I feel like he just ain't got a connection.
That's definitely number 1 is the weapons for sure. Number 2, I mean, I think it's kind of routine that Frank Reich's teams kind of start off slow. So I mean, it'll be a little bit different to see kind of mid-season as they get the ball rolling. But I mean, if we CJ Stroud, I know a lot of people see the yardage, but I mean, at the end of the
I mean, he is throwing it 40
day,
times, 50 times a game.
he was throwing it 50 times, but it was also during garbage time. Essentially, it was a blowout
I get
by
that.
the end of the first quarter. So, like, I mean, and he didn't start. He really didn't. I think I want to say by the start of the fourth quarter, he had like 140 yards. And then when they was down like 28-10, like
airing it
so
out.
just at the end. So I mean, like which that's not to say that he wasn't doing well, because he definitely was. I mean, it's not like we was just in prevent, or the Colts were just in prevent. But I mean, at the same time, I mean, that's a tough defense to go against too, and the Saints. And
I'm sorry, 47 times is crazy, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, he was throwing that.
I just went back and looked at the stat. 47 times.
I mean, they couldn't do nothing. They couldn't do nothing.
Crazy.
They couldn't run the ball. They couldn't run the ball. They was on lock. Yeah. They was on lock.
You got him started now. But yeah, I mean, Bryce, man, like, of course, the issues with his size came up again this week, you know, some of the national media pundits, as far as like his durability. Like, he missed practice today because of ankle injury. So it's like, oh, he's already injured. Oh, he's little. It's gonna be tough for Bryce. I think you got Adam Thielen, and like you said last week, and we saw the same thing with this game. There's no separation by these receivers. No separation.
I mean, they took away his best weapon. They really took away possibly his best two weapons, because I mean, they did trade away Christian McCaffrey too the year before. So I mean, him and DJ Moore leaving that offense, and then you just kind of picked up scraps, you know, at the end of the day. So I mean, it's going. I think I saw something. I saw a stat, and I'll have to look at it again. That was like, when he has the highest accuracy percentage when he's kept clean in the pocket, but his receivers are just never open. Like, I think they had the highest percentage of their pass plays perfectly covered,
which is crazy. Like, I get the Saints are a good defense, but I don't think they're that.
And I'm saying for over the first 2 weeks. So
our defense, I don't think our defense is that good for the Falcons. So
I mean, it's
on them. Yeah,
they'll have to figure it out. But I mean, we sticking with the rookie quarterbacks. We did talk a little bit about CJ Stroud. What did you guys think about the Colts Texans game?
Okay, so we know Anthony Richardson left that game early with a concussion. Of course, he missed practice this week so far. And I mean, it's tough because he scored those two, you know, he scored that rush touchdown. They got the ball back on the fumble, scored a rush touchdown again. So quickly, it was like, oh shit, this is his game.
He got off quick.
Like fantasy wise,
like 5 and 6 or something like that.
Right.
But he finished with like 6. He only threw 10 times, so it's 6 of 10. Yeah, how many yards? But it was like, okay, you know. And then, you know, they didn't bring it back out, so it was kind of tough to see that. That's why I really wanted to watch that game for, just to see Anthony Richardson play the whole time against, you know, CJ. But like we said with CJ, I mean, 30 for 47. He threw for 384 yards, 2 touchdowns. He hasn't thrown a pick yet, which is something for all those throws that he's throwing. He hasn't thrown a pick yet, which is, I mean, he's putting it there on a lot of those throws too. And he doesn't have the best receiving core, but he got some. He got some young guys. Yeah, he got some young guys that with Nico and Tank, like,
yeah,
they looking all right over there. It's gonna take a minute for the Texans, but they don't look like completely trash. I mean, you know, I could see them being good in the next couple of years. Good enough, but like competing. But
there's gonna be a lot of talk about how they traded their first round pick in the upcoming season for Will Anderson. So I mean, that's gonna be something that they're gonna watch a lot between the development between Will Anderson and CJ Stroud. But kind of like you said, I think the Colts got off to a hot start. The Texans, I think they had like 3 or 4 of their offensive linemen missing. So I mean, the Colts D line was just dominating from the start. Gardner Minshew, best quarterback 2 in the league, came in.
Minshew mania.
Yeah, Minshew mania. He came in, scored two quick touchdowns for us. And then, I mean, it was pretty much a blowout from the start. Really, they went down and scored, and then scored again within the first like 10 plays of the game. So
yeah, I think at the end they brought it to like 8, but it was still like it was.
I'll say this. In maybe like 2 years, could be next year, but man, 2 years, y'all division gonna be crazy. Y'all division gonna be if Tennessee can figure out they quarterback offensive situation.
Malik Willis.
If they can figure that out, y'all division gonna be something crazy. I got Trevor Lawrence. You got C.J. Stroud doing what they. I mean, Anthony Rich is a good find for y'all. Y'all did okay with that draft pick, I guess.
He just got to protect himself too, though. He got to protect himself. That's 2 games.
At the end of the day, there's not really anything. That one, he looked like he slowed up a little bit.
He did, yeah. He slowed it up and
didn't expect the guy to
he went full speed at him.
Yeah, but I mean, that's stuff that's gonna happen. I mean, he'll naturally get better at protecting himself, getting out of bounds, sliding a little bit more. But one thing that, as you mentioned, we were robbed of watching him for a full game, but I think we're gonna be robbed of watching him and Lamar play against each other this weekend too. So that's something that kind of sucks, but it's still a good game, like you said, for both the rookie quarterbacks, and they probably have been the two best rookie quarterbacks out of the 3 that have played so far as well. So
but yeah, man. I mean, we had two blowout, 2 dominations. Bills smacked the Raiders. Not much to talk about there. Josh Allen did bounce back though, so I mean that's good to see. But he also was doing dumb shit. So I mean, we're running the ball, and then Cowboys smacked the Jets 30-10. Zach Wilson's not the answer, man. They gotta do something quick if they want to salvage this.
I feel like Zach Wilson.
He threw 3
He didn't play a bad game, but they were already down like 27. The game was over by the time he started throwing them picks. Like they're
not helping him out, man. What's up? Why can't you run the ball? Why aren't you trying to run the ball? They're not helping. They're not even. They didn't even attempt to help him out.
Yeah, and that's completely. Go ahead.
That's also on Nathaniel Hackett and the way he's calling the games. I get that, but also like, I just think they're trying to do this shit on the fly. And Zach Wilson is not a quarterback that you want to just, let's try to figure out on the fly. Let's change our whole game plan. Maybe they don't trust Brees as much.
Is that a Zach Wilson thing or is that a coaching thing? I think that's a coaching thing. If that's what we're saying.
But Zach Wilson is also just not good.
Okay, but what's your solution to that though?
Honestly, go pick somebody up. I mean, it's a simple solution. It don't matter who at this point. It don't matter who, but you got to try something. You cannot keep rolling this man out there. You can't.
I think you can. And you have to.
I don't know, man.
You can and you have to. Because at the end of the day, if they let's just do the hypothetical. They do pick somebody up.
Okay.
And the people that at this point, the people that they can pick up is Carson Wentz, that you're expecting to come in and play.
Right. Immediately.
Carson Wentz. I mean, people have said I floated the idea of Cooper Rush. Cooper Rush is not a starting quarterback in the NFL, so I'm not gonna.
Matt Ryan not retired.
Matt Ryan is not retired, so I mean, you could try Matt Ryan, but Matt Ryan behind that offensive line is
that ain't good either. I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
So Carson Wentz, essentially, and well, I mean, Jameis Winston, I guess, is the other option, but I mean, which I would love to see Jameis. I think Jameis would be a great addition, but then you had that question again. If Carson Wentz or Jameis Winston goes over there, as well as and Zach Wilson, not just what happens with Zach, let's just say that they do lead this team to a Super Bowl or lead this team on a deep playoff run. What I mean, are we sure that they were just gonna bring Aaron Rodgers back in and it's supposed to be all good?
I think it depends on how it's done, though. I think first off, like you said earlier, they do gotta change the way their whole offense is ran, how they play, how they're designing, especially the first quarter. You know how they're designing the play calling. You gotta focus on the run. It depends on how it's done. If it's done by just Zach or Jameis or Carson just game managing and relying on the run game and the defense all the way to the playoffs, then yeah, you could bring Aaron back in because it's just like they didn't do much, but they managed the game. But if James come over there or Zach Wilson turns, and ends up throwing like 20-something touchdowns this season and like balls out, then yeah, I mean that is a question to ask, but I just don't see that happening either though. So,
well, if you don't see that happening, then there's no point in essentially making a pickup.
That's what I'm saying though. So if you don't see that happening with Zach, you might as well give it a try with Jameis. I can see Jameis doing it.
But so that's what I was saying. I thought you were saying that you don't see Carson Wentz or Jameis.
No, I don't see Zach doing it. That's what I'm saying. But I don't know about Carson, but I can see Jameis doing
it. So you're saying you could see Jameis or Carson Wentz leading them to the playoffs or a deep playoff run?
I think Carson Wentz can lead them to a deep playoff run, but it'll be more of like a game management type of deal. Yes.
So you saying that you feel like these two quarterbacks wouldn't lose them? They wouldn't lose the game for them.
Just bring a vet in. Just if your defense is legit how it is and your run game is
the defense legit?
Well, we don't know. I mean,
Dak and CD was going up and down the field up and down the field on them. Aside from the drop pick 6, that was the only thing that I remember that they even made a play for real.
No, I'm not gonna fight you on that. But everybody's talking about the defense. But yeah, I get exactly what you're saying because this defense did not look good last week. And then Sauce after the game gonna come on Twitter or whatever and throw it off on his teammates. I didn't like that shit either. Like, dude, I mean, he's young, but I get it. I mean,
he obviously wasn't trying to throw it on his teamees, but I mean, he's got to understand the perception of it.
Exactly.
Right. It is what it is. But I mean, on the flip side, which y'all, I mean, this is the second week that we really could skip past Dallas because they ain't have no competition. But what do y'all think about Dallas so far?
I mean, you say the offense went up and down the field, but they ain't scoring no touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
They was getting straight up field goals this past game. The first game, their defense is gonna carry them. That's what it's always been. That's what that's what we always knew. Their defense is gonna carry where they're going. I mean, now I will say that their offense is doing what they're supposed to do. They're not losing the game for them. They're not putting defense in bad positions. They're not keep giving the ball right back to the other team. So they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Now, who they been going against? I mean, we thought the Jets defense was supposed to be good. Like you just said, they were going up and down the field, but they did, holding the field goals. I feel like I think that's what Kaz was trying to say. A competent quarterback might have pressed the issue a little bit more if you kicking field goals, but we turn around and we actually go get a touchdown. Then now let's see what your offense is going to do now. But I mean, they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. Leaning on that defense, not messing nothing up.
Yeah, I think it's tough to judge Dallas until they go. I mean, they got the Cardinals this week. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like they've been.
I think they got the
49ers afterwards.
No, they got Patriots next or
next
week, and then the 49ers. But then they go on a little stretch. They got Patriots, 49ers, Chargers, Rams, or Patriots, 49ers, Chargers. Then it's a bye week. Then it's the Rams, Philly, the Giants again. Which I mean, so, but they end on a tough stretch too with week 13 through 18 or really we can start at week 12 because Washington's surprisingly doing well. Week 12 is Washington, Seattle, Philly, Buffalo, at Miami, the Lions, and then at Washington to end the game in the series.
I actually think their first test will be not this week, next week against the Patriots. Bill Belichick, he gonna come to play. I mean, at least their defense is. Their defense gonna make their offense like, hey,
yeah.
Let's see what you're gonna do.
Let's see what you're gonna do, Zach. I mean,
right. Well, let's see what you're gonna do. We're gonna press the issue. So I'm looking forward to seeing what the offense do against the Patriots.
So speaking of Dak, because of how well the Cowboys are playing, and I mean, he really did go up and down the field on the Jets. And like you said, did what he needed to do week 1. Is he in the early, I guess, MVP conversation with like Tua, Lamar? You say no?
Absolutely not. No. How can you put him up there?
What about Parsons?
Honestly, defensive player?
Nah.
MVP? Oh, MVP.
As of right now, he's up there.
He's up there, but it's not gonna work, man. They're not gonna give it to nobody but a quarterback, man. They ain't about to.
I mean, I think you kind of have to. I mean, I wouldn't say that Dak has played like an MVP thus far, but I definitely think that he's because of the record, because of how they've been playing so far, that it will be in consideration. But there has been something that I've been thinking about Dak and kind of a comparison, and I want to run this by y'all to see what you guys think. So this is
cap shit.
Man, can't even say it without laughing.
Because I have a feeling I know how y'all gonna react at first. So this is an NBA comparison, NFL NBA.
Okay.
So I've been thinking, I feel like Dak is kind of, his comparison would be like Paul George. Like Paul George is consistently one of the best players in the league. He's consistently kind of on that cusp of, is he elite? Like, is he good? Is he very good? Is he elite? You know, at one point in time, he was kind of thought of that he was going to be the next up, kind of like Dak was early on. They both kind of came out of nowhere, and then they both had a devastating injury. I looked it up. Both happened during their 5th season, which is kind of funny. But you know, the people are always kind of, and this is on the other thing I want to add, that Dak Prescott is Paul George with LeBron coverage. Like, he's covered like he's LeBron, but he actually is more of like a Paul George type player, in my opinion. What y'all think about that?
Dak has never been the reason why their team been good.
Even
the years that Paul George was with the Pacers, he was the driving force. Dak has never, in my opinion, been the reason why they did what they did.
He while he was the driving force, he also did have a really good team behind him. I mean, I don't necessarily say that you can't, because the past 2 years they've had the number 1 offense in the league. They've had the number 1 offense. So I mean, you can't sit here and say he might not have been thought of as the reason per se. But I mean, the last 2 seasons, I mean, what else can you, I mean, obviously he led the league in picks last year, but I mean, the reason that they were where they were, obviously the defense was great. We saw a great defense with the Jets and what their record was with bad quarterback play. So,
right. I mean, for comparisons, it's not crazy because there are a lot that they have alike. I would say, like kind of Chris said, the main thing is that I think Paul George is just better at his sport than Dak is at his Paul George is better at his position than Dak is, or I think will ever be at his.
More thing, go ahead.
Oh, but as far as making it through the season, you know, you getting talked about, you know, with Dak a lot, and then kind of folding. We've seen that from Paul George a lot. so that's a big one.
Hey, I wasn't saying all that.
I mean, that's what it is, though. We've seen them have good teams get to the playoffs, get towards the end of the season, even like at the All-Star break for NBA, and you just start folding. I mean, you know, you blame it on injury or whatever, but you just out there not playing how you supposed to. I mean, Paul George.
Yeah, he's not playing like how he's supposed to play. I ain't gonna say they was folding, but
they was folding.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that, and I'm like, you know, that kind of makes sense. And they both are really good in the media. They both you know, really smart, high intelligent guys. And then also, you know, we saw this a lot during the kind of the rookie draft in the NBA, where a lot of the guys were like, I like Paul George's game. I like to model my game after Paul George. But if you add, like, a lot of the young quarterbacks that come in, when they talk about quarterbacks that they study, they talk about Dak, because Dak is really technically sound. Dak is, and this is something that's not talked about enough, Dak is one of the best pure pocket passers in the league. There's not very many quarterbacks, if any quarterbacks, that's better than him in the pocket and making, like, staying within the structure. Now, where his limitations come in now, especially now, is his playmaking ability. Like, when things go off structure, or when you need a big play, that's where Dak really kind of falls. But as in terms of like a pure pocket passer, I mean, he can say that he's not second to anybody, really, in my opinion.
I mean, I don't know about that.
And that might be a little bit of a stretch.
I think it is a stretch. I'm trying to think about, like, I mean, because if you think about these top quarterbacks in the league, a lot of them are good at improvising. Pat,
especially Joe, now, and you see Josh, a lot of the older guys that were just pocket passers, kind of
So out. In that way, because pure pocket passers in the league, who you got? Him,
Kurt, Matt Stafford, Kurt,
Matt, Jared, Goff.
And I mean, Tua, is like right.
Tua, but
Tua and Dak are probably like right on that cusp.
I feel like Tua, like,
right.
I mean,
Jimmy G.
I was
Derek Carr.
Derek Carr. Don't even bring him up.
Hey,
just saying pocket pass.
I hate, bro. Derek Carr is not good. Derek Carr is not good, man. Just go.
Okay,
right.
Let's finish this. So yeah. But I mean, like you said, but as we saw, like, Matt Ryan struggled last year. Tom Brady struggled last year. They say that Aaron Rodgers struggled a lot last year, and we saw that he didn't use his mobility as much last year. So
it's definitely becoming a necessity now with quarterbacks.
Yeah,
in this league, and it's going to continue to trend that way. But I mean, you even got guys like Trevor and Justin. They're young, but they can move. Like Justin especially can move.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's keep going through it. That's an interesting one though.
Since you want to keep talking shit about the Derek Carr and the Saints, speak up. Let's talk about the Falcons. Let's talk about the Falcons.
First off, I'm not talking shit about the Saints.
Yes, you did. Yes,
I'm not talking shit about the Saints.
You just say Derek Carr. Oh my god.
Yes, Derek Carr is not. He's not the answer for that team, and he's not going to take them far.
Speak up on them Falcons. Speak up on Desmond Ritter. You said what?
So I had the Falcons win. I said I had the Falcons win the division. This is nothing new. So yeah, we can talk about Desmond Ritter. Okay, yes, he made a couple of bad throws that should have been picks. I get it, but at the same time, you got to think about we offering a little grace to Kenny Pickett. We offering grace to these other quarterbacks that are in their second year in the league. Desmond only played 4 games last season compared to Kenny Pickett, and he still needs time to grow within his position. Like this is still new. This is only his 6th start. Like you can't really be too like how can we judge him so harshly and be like, oh, Desmond Ritter? But like he's outplaying little. Like if you look at the numbers, I mean, eye test is one thing, but yes, if you look at both together, Kenny Pickett, he's outplaying Kenny. He's outplaying a few quarterbacks.
I thought you about that some crap. Like, but hold on.
No, I ain't saying nothing crazy, but I mean, he's outplaying Joe Burrow. Like if you think about in these first 2 weeks,
everybody's outplaying Joe Burrow right now.
That's true too, but I'm saying you can say it. You can say it, but I'm saying he's not as bad as what everybody's making him out to be. And he does have a squad around him. So our defense, right? The Falcons defense right now is ranked 2nd against the pass. I think they're like 20-something against the run because they gave up a lot to Carolina. But overall, as far as yardage, they're like 3rd or 4th. Like the defense is holding up how they need to. I get the competition, but you did go against Jordan Love and held him to only 151 yards. Like this game, like I get what you're saying, we only won by 1 point, but we shut them motherfuckers down in the fourth quarter. He went 0 for 6. Chris, he went 0 for 6. He did not complete a pass.
I mean, he did.
3 possessions. Like you cannot scoff at that and be
I'm just saying, man, y'all got away with one without Aaron Jones.
We locked the motherfuckers up, bro. If you come into the 4th quarter,
I got away without Aaron Jones. 12-point lead,
man. Okay, now you're talking about injuries. You only play who you play. Like you can't.
Y'all won. I didn't say y'all didn't win, but I'm just saying.
No, bro. But I'm saying like you cannot come out this game and be like, oh well, Desmond Ritter. Like no, bro, we got our dub. Desmond Ritter balled out in the 4th quarter. The defense locked them up. Jordan Love is special. I think he's gonna be. I had my question. I still got a couple of questions about him, but like going into the season, he definitely showed me something these first couple.
Who you taking, Ritter or Love?
Jordan Love.
I mean, Jordan Love's the better quarterback,
but he's older.
But he's also in his 4th season.
He want to say Ritter. I don't you know that?
No, I mean I can't say Ritter, but that's my point.
So to chime in here, I mean, I'm not. I was just talking shit. Desmond Ritter played well. Well, I won't say he played well. He played all right. He played all right. He definitely should have had like 3-4 picks, including like 2 pick sixes. But Jordan Love probably should have had a pick 6 too as well. But I mean, it kind of like you said. I mean, it's you never complain about getting a win at the end of the day. So a dub's a dub. So the Falcons, I think they still need one more outside receiver kind of threat. I mean, Mac Hollins, I mean, he's doing what he can do, but I mean,
head top on that one guy. I will say this though, with the outside receiver, I don't know if it's like how they're game planning it, how they're calling the plays, but a lot of these routes, I'm sitting there watching it, three-man routes, sometimes 2 with a little leak out at the end. Like that's all they're trying to run.
They only have one receiver. That's what I'm saying. That's really threatening.
It's tough. It's tough to watch, but I'm like, are they doing it on purpose? It's because our 3rd receiver is Scotty Miller. He got a little bit of speed, but he's not that good. So I don't know. Maybe they knew. I don't know, man. Hopefully we get T. Higgins next year.
There's no T. Higgins.
I mean, we'll see.
No T. Higgins. But
yeah, can't complain about loss. I get they didn't have Aaron Jones. They didn't have David Bakhtiari. They didn't have Christian Watson.
Aaron Jones was definitely they missed Aaron Jones big time. I like his explosive.
AJ Dillon, like
AJ Dillon was getting a lot
he's
of
just a
3
short
yard.
yard back.
Man.
He ain't gonna. Man,
you can't. Yeah. Well, you a short down back, but you can't even get a 30. It was 30 and what 31, 30 and short or second and short. He couldn't get.
I will say, I mean, and I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, Jordan Love is very reminiscent. I feel like the team's very like similar to that team when Aaron Rodgers kind of took over, especially with the receivers. I mean, they've got a bunch of good young receivers that, I mean, Wicks played really well.
Wicks played good.
Reed played well. Dobbs played well.
He didn't do much in this game, but
the first game he did pretty good.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're missing Christian Watson. So, I mean, that's similar to when they had, what do they have? Greg Jennings, James Jones, Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Donald Driver. So, I mean, it's very, and I mean, they got Luke Musgrave, who's a good young tight end. I really like what the Packers have like put together as a team. It's obviously like a tough loss at the end of the day. Two young teams that battled it out. And the Falcons kind of, like you said, they were at home. They kind of showed the poise to kind of pull it out at the end. But it was a really good game.
It was a good game, man. I enjoyed it, and I really think like people are a little low on both the Packers and the Falcons. I mean, seeing just a bunch of like NFC power ranking and stuff today, which is whatever. But like the Packers are legit. Like I really think, I was low on them. Like when we did our predictions, I was low. But
yeah,
this squad, if everybody stay healthy,
that's for sure.
Can be nice. That's the thing too, because you need Aaron Jones.
But one thing that you did, the Falcons, I'm looking at it right now. The ESPN has the Falcons as the 16th best pass rushing, or has the 16th best pass rush win rate. So that's something. I mean, that's about average. That's an improvement.
It's better than last year. But yeah, I mean, we only got. See, I like that. I like the percentage because if you look at just sacks, like we only got 3 sacks on the season. 2 of them came. I think 2 of them came in the first game against Bright. So it's like.
I'll say that they describe the pass rush win rate as the ability to win to beat your blocker within 2.5 seconds.
Right. And then, like you said, with the sacks is kind of misleading because again, you beat the block, but if you got a quarterback that's ripping it real quick, it ain't gonna matter.
Yeah.
Or you might not beat your block, but if you got a quarterback that like to hold on the ball, you're gonna get the sack.
One thing to keep in mind that the Falcons have the 29th ranked pass blocking win rate.
See, the pass blocking is bad. The run is so crazy. The difference between the run blocking and the pass blocking is crazy. You can see it too. Like Caleb McGarry, the right tackle, he gets ate up. If you got somebody good out there on the end, he gets ate up. But he's an excellent run blocker. If they need to get yards and they're running the ball, they are going to his side. They're going to the right, and you'll see it in this game. Every 4th down, they were going to the right, going to his side. It's just. That's why he still has a job out there because of the run blocking, but it's tough when you.
I mean, it's tough. I mean, and that's the thing. That's the thing across the league. I mean, everybody's looking for good blockers, a good O line. I mean, that's especially not only good O line, but good O line depth, and that's something that's lacking across the league. So, especially as pass rushers get better and better, they look like Myles Garrett and run like Tyreek Hill. So I mean, so at the Michael Parsons. Literally.
Hey, I want to give it up to your coach though. He showed some real guts out there on that 4th down, boy. I was like,
But again, though, how Bijan made that shit look so easy, man. He's this kid here, boy. He's gonna be nice. Man, as long as he stays like the moves he can make, like he sets people up for every move he's gonna make, and it's just
smooth with it. Yeah,
so smooth, man. It's so smooth. I saw the little overhead shot today that they released.
I saw that.
That's going viral. Yeah,
man. Goodness gracious, he's nice. He's gonna be nice.
In going to the speaking on the team that the Falcons are about to play this week with the Lions and the Seahawks. Big game, big game.
That was a good game.
That might have been the game of the week, honestly. High scoring game, back and forth. What were y'all thoughts on it?
Gino tried to sell it.
Definitely tried to sell it away.
I think that's what man thought. We saw Jared Goff throw his first pick in a long time.
Yeah,
he was pissed off about that one, boy.
Yeah, 6-2.
Yeah, but honestly, it's just I didn't like what I saw from both the defenses in this game, and I thought the defense would be a little bit better, but of course the Seahawks had a lot of injuries though. So that's kind of tough too. I know they like Drake got hurt. I can't remember who else, but it was high scoring. You like to see it going to overtime. Tyler Lockett's still showing that he can do it with any quarterback. Any quarterback, he has great touchdowns in this one. So it was good to see that for sure.
And the Seahawks missed 2 field goals to start the game. So I mean, they had a lot of miscues. They missed 2 field goals early on. Like you said, Geno tried to sell the game away on that big third down at the end of the game. The man almost ran and gave himself a safety. So, but I mean,
other
big bounce back
win. Yeah, I was just about to say it was a good bounce back for him, man. I mean,
needed that.
You went to bed the first week against the Rams. I mean, you could say, Rams might have, showed a little something, but you was expected to win that game. The Rams, they got a little weapons here and there, but they're not a good team right now. They're just not. And for him to come back outside, like I said, outside of that play, for him to come back and then make that drive down in overtime was pretty good by Geno.
Yeah. It's good to see. I can't wait to see the matchups next week with the Lions and the Falcons. But we'll get to that later.
It's a tough loss for the Lions losing David Montgomery too. So
that's true. I mean, you did draft Jameer, but are you ready? I don't know. Are you ready?
Hand that ball off, man.
Hand it over to him?
Ball off.
Look, I mean, they still gonna use Craig Reynolds. I think they used him a lot this past game after David left the game, and then I think I saw that they brought in Bam Knight from the Jets as their third back. So I mean, it's still gonna be running back by committee, but that's David Montgomery was real good, and that's gonna be a big loss for them.
Yeah, I agree. They also lost Houston, didn't they?
Oh, Houston and Garner Johnson. We forgot about that.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, that's tough. Especially off the shit he was talking. He had the
crazy boy.
But he had the Seahawks in there with blue mask on.
Oh man, they all had the ski masks on.
Yeah, but it's gonna
man, I see niggas on NFL Network doing their reports with ski masks on. I'm like, this is crazy.
But I mean, you could tell that city is like they're hyped. They're hyped for that team now.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, they were bad for a while, so I can't knock them for that. But it's gonna be tough It's gonna be tough. We'll see how this goes. But let's talk about city. Let's talk about my city because I work with a lot of Broncos fans, of course. So work this week has been very interesting. Like hearing the fury in their voices when they talk about this game. I know a couple people that went to the game, went to both games, both home games. You open up the season with 2 games at home, them and the Patriots, and you lose them both. That ain't good, man. You cannot do that.
No, them and the Raiders.
The Patriots won. I mean, they had both at home, didn't they?
Oh! I thought you were saying they played the Patriots.
Oh no! I'm saying like both of those teams had. Yeah, I went 0-2 at home, so that's tough. But they're like in the Broncos in the second half of the game. It's like I thought their defense would be a lot better than what it is. You can't blame it all on Russ. You can't. I mean,
can't blame it on Russ at all. Well, I don't want to say at all. Russ played well. Like he played really well. He played really well. And there to go back to the win rates. Let me see if I can pull that back up. The Broncos, I want to say, were the worst team in the league. Let's see.
Which is also tough. I mean, pure numbers. Like they scored in this last game, they scored 6 points in the second. I mean, without that Hail Mary at the end, only 2 field goals in the second half.
That was nuts.
Yeah, that Hail Mary.
Yeah, the offense started off real hot and then they stalled. But and everybody's kind of coming at Russ like, oh, he doesn't have it, he lost it or whatever. But in all honesty, I mean, it was just it wasn't as much as the Broncos, as much as the Commanders. I mean, their offense got hot. They scored like 4 straight times. So, I mean,
Sam Howell's he was putting it there.
Sam Howell's yeah.
He might.
Yeah, I mean,
man. He's a quarterback.
They've got weapons. They've got weapons and obviously Bieniemy. People have been saying, the Chiefs lost him, and now the Chiefs are kind of struggling. The Bieniemy effect, and now the Washington Commanders are doing really well. But I mean, and their running backs are good too, with Gibson kind of being that pass catching running back, and then I mean Brian Robinson was toting on the Broncos all game.
yeah. It was
The
but
Broncos defense did not show up at all.
Though, so to bring up that stat, the Broncos have the 27th ranked pass rush win rate and the 24th ranked run stop win rate.
That's terrible in comparison to their last year. That's very bad.
Because I want to say last year through most of the season they were a top 5 defense. So that's a big difference with Vance Joseph being a defensive coordinator. I think I don't want to butcher his name, but Evero, he's the Panthers DC now. I think was the Broncos DC last year.
That's bad, man.
Yeah. So, but I really thought Russ played really well. I mean, they, like I said, they stalled at the end, but I mean, he was making plays. The defensive line for the Commanders started kind of feasting. I mean, in the second half, but I mean, Russ was doing what he can. He's making plays with his legs, making plays through the air, and ultimately they just came up short.
I found it funny in like the post game presser, or maybe it was the next day. I can't remember when I see these interviews, but Sean Payton was getting interviewed, and he was kind of coming at Russ a little bit though. And then like at one point in the interview, he was like, "We need to go to wristbands. We'll go to wristbands." And I think that was in response to like how late they were getting the calls in and stuff like that. Like just like correctable stuff that they're just not doing, especially in the second half of these games that are coming back to bite them.
And I mean, I think, like we said from the jump, it's not all on Russ. You know, Sean Payton, he's supposed to be this offensive guru and the savior. I mean, he's got to start showing that. I mean, it can't just be Russ. I mean, the run game's got to show up. I mean, everybody, all parts. All parts. Marvin Mims played well, kind of announced himself as a possible player in the league. So
even he only had 2 catches though. So I mean,
Judy and Sutton. I mean, we're gonna have to see something. But I mean, go ahead.
Let's talk about the Bears. All right, we kind of buried the lead here, but this is the one I really want to talk about. Watching that game, man.
Go ahead.
All right, so Justin Fields.
Speak up, because I got a lot to say about Justin Fields.
So Justin Fields with 16 for 29, 211 yards, touchdown, 2 picks. Bad picks. Of course, one was returned for a 6 on his whack ass screen play that we found.
And supposedly,
we found that they ran 3 times in a row.
3 times? That's crazy.
You know, and I mean, it just looks terrible over there. Of course, they got a lot going on outside the field now. But then you see today he has a press conference and he's like, I just feel like I'm not playing myself, like playing football, like being myself. Being myself. I'm not being comfortable. I'm going to go out there and just play how I've always played. Like he's saying that stuff, and then like of course everybody is like, okay, yeah, he's blaming it on the coaches. And then he comes out again after like some hours later and was like, no, it's on me. It's not on the coaches, but the damage already done from that first interview. But it's like, Justin, his decision-making is terrible. I mean, we saw a couple of plays, that we put in our group where he's missing, like he's not seeing the field well at all. It's tough to continue to put your stock in a guy like this. And then, I mean, defense isn't helping them at all. Of course, we talked about it as well, which I'm sure we'll talk about now. Is kind of like how much is on play calling, how much is on him, and is the play calling because of him? Like, what I mean, as far as his limitations, you don't want to put too much on him because that he's gonna make mistakes, but he's doing that anyway. So it's tough, man. I had high hopes for Justin overall, and not even this year because I had him last in the division. I didn't think they would be good this year, but I'm saying like as a starting quarterback, I didn't think he would be this bad, but it's not looking good. What do you got to say about
it? So once again, I was just talking shit. I ain't got a whole lot to say. I ain't gonna beat a dead horse.
You're gonna kick him when you're down, I guess.
At the end of the day, it is disappointing to see because first of all, don't want to talk bad about any black quarterbacks. We love to see the black quarterbacks thrive in the league, but coming into the kind of the draft cycle with Justin Fields, if y'all remember, it was always Trevor, Justin Fields, like 1 and 2, and then slowly as the cycle went on, you started kind of seeing like, oh, it's Zach Wilson's number 2. Obviously, Trey Lance ended up going number 3 as well over Justin Fields, and then we kind of started seeing Justin Fields drop. And everybody was like, we don't understand. And the rumors was that he was struggling with his processing speed, like post snap. And I think we're just seeing we're just seeing that all, a lot of times we hear the critiques about, prospects and stuff like that, the over critiques about prospects, and a lot of times it's like, oh, somebody saw like 1 or 2 plays, like, oh, he dropped a pass and now all of a sudden he doesn't have any hands or something like that. But I mean, I think in this situation, like, we're really seeing like Justin Fields is just struggling with his processing speed. Like, he struggles going through his reads. And the plays that you mentioned that we were kind of passing along through Twitter, I think one of the ones that's been going viral is where the running back comes and kind of does like a wheel route and
right up the seam,
and right up the seam in the red area.
Yeah.
And he missed it. And ultimately, like, he's already gone through 2 coaching staffs, or this will be the second coaching staff. I mean, we're really looking at, if he continues to struggle, this is probably the last time that we're going to see Justin Fields starting. Last season that we'll see Justin Fields starting in the league, and the Bears have to start kind of questioning a lot, because even if they did feel good about the staff and the front office, it's like, you guys traded the first overall draft pick in a draft where, Anthony Richardson. This is also something I've been thinking about. Anthony Richardson is the quarterback that everybody hopes or wanted Justin Fields to be. Like, and it's the opposite. Justin Fields is the actual project, whereas Anthony Richardson is just a person. Like, he's actually good in the pocket. He statistically, he does not. He's good at avoiding stacks. He sees the field well. It's just that he has to, work on his mechanics for the most part. And on top of that, he's a good runner. Justin Fields, on the other hand, really struggles with his processing speed, really struggles with seeing the field and seeing, like, going through his reads, like I've already mentioned. So I was thinking about that the other day, and that's really like, Anthony Richardson is really the quarterback that everybody thinks that Justin Fields is, and Justin Fields is really the quarterback that everybody thinks that Anthony Richardson is, the runner that really can't throw, that is just something to think about. But yeah, like I said, there's going to have a lot of tough questions. You traded the number 1 overall draft pick in a draft that had Bryce Young, CJ Stroud, and Anthony Richardson all looking good. You've traded it was a 2nd round pick, but technically it's a first because it was number 32 overall.
Yeah, 32. Okay, yeah.
No, it's 32 overall because the Dolphins had their 1st round pick vacated.
He took it from so they had 31 in the 1st round this year.
Exactly. So you traded a technically a 1st round pick for 2 receivers, basically, because DJ Moore was traded with the 1st overall and Claypool was traded with that 2nd round pick. I mean, there's a lot of questions that's going to be. Roquan Smith is balling, and you traded him because you said that you wanted to have money to pay other people, and the defense is looking crazy. You paid
crazy.
You paid Tremont Evans, and what is he doing? I mean, it's
paid going to be a lot of questions.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of questions for that Bears staff, the quarterback, everybody at the end of the season if they don't get things turned around.
Like Cass said, I mean, it sucks because I watched him his whole last year. I was thinking he was balling. Like, he even in the playoffs. I mean, he went head to head with Trevor Lawrence, balling. And it's just like you would assume that, okay, like you said, you start seeing the draft start just dropping, and you're like, I mean, what's going on? What are these 2 other quarterbacks that people are lifting up? I've never seen them. I don't see them. I mean, they not doing nothing either. But
which is crazy how
that whole quarterback draft class was bad.
Was supposed to be a legendary draft class,
and it's bad. Only person who's good is Trevor, and he had a stroke. You can say
hold on. Don't hate on Mac Jones. Your boy Jalen Hurts was still in that draft class too.
I was talking about 1st round.
Wait, was Jalen Hurts in that draft class?
No, he came before that.
The year before, I think. Yeah.
But Matt Jones ass. But
Matt Jones is.
No,
he was with Joe Burrow.
But I just don't want to believe. I just don't want to believe it's just all on Justin Fields. But I see what they saying about the process and stuff. But I mean, I'm interested to know, I wonder if like, when because they were saying something about, him, they talking too much in his ear, like telling him this, that, and the third while giving him to play. And it's like, is he really thinking about that? Like, oh, he telling me watch out for this instead of just actually playing. Because I mean, last year he might not have been a good thrower, but I mean, he's not even running the ball like he was
making
last year.
plays last year. He's not
even
But
doing that right now.
a lot of those runs came on scrambles, and he just made miraculous plays. But at the end of the day, he's in his third year. This is not a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
So this is not a rookie quarterback. This is also not his first year with that coaching staff. So like all that they're in my ear saying like you should know like somebody. I kept saying all offseason he's never thrown for 300 yards. CJ Stroud has already thrown for 300 yards and he's only played 2 games. Like that's there at some point he should have shown some type of flash that this dude like. I keep going back to CJ Stroud. That whole second half, everybody's raving about it from the Colts Texans game because they're like, yo, like he was out there
showed you something.
He was out there doing something. Like
Yeah.
even Bryce Young, you've seen there's been a couple plays like he had a play on Monday night where he moved in the pocket, kind of stepped up. He shook Marcus May, who's now suspended.
That was a quick little move. Yeah.
Even the drive that he had against the Falcons where he ended up scoring, that was a great drive by him. So I mean, you've seen stuff. Even Anthony Richardson, obviously the 2 early touchdowns, you've seen stuff from them, and those are just rookies. Like we've seen good play from Mac Jones. We've seen good play from. I don't want to say we've seen good play from Trey Lance because I mean he's only played like one game really, which he started against Justin Fields and lost. But Zach Wilson, but but one thing I also want to say is we keep saying Trevor Lawrence, but just Trevor Lawrence shows a little bit. Trevor Lawrence is a little bit more flash than consistency right now.
I ain't saying he was. I'm saying he's the only one who's actually doing something out there.
Oh yeah. I'm still kind of hating a little bit, but I do think we've put Trevor on a little pedestal.
Yeah, Trevor's not. He's not showing. Like I was really disappointed, honestly, by that game against the Chiefs. I was really disappointed. I thought his grasp on the game would be a little better now at this point, but he still has a little ways to go. I mean, you can see. I mean, he's gonna be.
Nah, man, they got a team, bro. He got to step up. He should have won that game. Your defense holding the Chiefs to 17 points. You got to win that game.
You should have won that game.
Got to.
I'm not gonna deny that one.
Got to, but we kind of glossed over it, and we can kind of take this into our undefeated teams right now that we think might regress. But the Bucs, the Bucs playing well, man. And this is also something that I wanted to mention earlier, but didn't get a chance to. We were talking about Deshaun Watson. Now you're looking on that other side, and Baker Mayfield is playing pretty well. Those are some questions as well that you got to kind of look at. Because
I hear you, but competition. Baker do this shit on Monday against the Eagles is a different conversation.
The Vikings, I won't just say the Vikings are not good, but at the end of the day, like he's still undefeated.
I get that. And he's throwing like this game where he threw for 300 something yards. Mike Evans had 107 yards by himself. Mike Evans went crazy. Yeah. The Bears are trash, man. Like the Bears are garbage. I mean, clearly they were without their defense coordinator.
I don't know.
That is crazy.
I don't know what he got going on.
I think it's just a shit show with the Bears right now. It's hard to. Baker did play well. Again, he's a vet at this point, man. He's supposed to do this shit.
He's a number 1 overall draft pick. Like people just writing him off as like he's supposed to be just junk. I think Baker's good. I'm not saying he's great. I'm not saying he's elite, but he's not ass.
I'm not saying he's ass. I just felt like he had too much hype coming out. That was my gripe with him. I didn't feel like he was elite coming out of college. I never thought that.
You sick. That boy coming out of college, Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah, boy was.
And he got kicked off his team. And he got kicked off his team. That's how elite he was. He got kicked off the Browns. That's how elite he was. If he was that guy, he should still be on that team. It's looking like a big mistake. They didn't play nobody.
I gotta, like I said, let's wait and see on the Buccaneers.
But it's looking like a mistake at there.
I don't know,
but we'll see. We'll
Oh,
see.
did he lose his job to what's that dude
he didn't
name?
lose his job to nobody. He didn't lose his
Sam
job to
Darnold?
nobody. He
When he
didn't
was
lose
with the
his job to
Panthers?
Sam. He didn't lose his job
He
to
lost
Sam
his
Darnold.
job to Sam Darnold.
He got hurt.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
all right.
And yeah. Don't do that. Don't try Baker. Yeah.
So let's take it to that. Which 2-0 team will most likely regress? All right. So 2-0s, we have the Falcons, we have the Ravens, Cowboys, Dolphins, Saints, Eagles, 49ers, Buccaneers, and Commanders.
So I was looking at the schedules. And so the Falcons, I mean, not to hate on y'all, but L is coming in the next one of the next 2 weeks between Detroit and Jackson.
Oh wait, hold. When we say regress, do we mean they're gonna lose? They're gonna
go back to the mean. Go back to the mean.
I'll let him finish. Go ahead.
So the Falcons got a little stretch coming up where they play Detroit, Jacksonville, Houston, the Commanders, and Tampa Bay and Tennessee. I mean, Tennessee's not a great team, but they're always going to be a tough team to play. Tampa Bay division, obviously. Washington, I mean, they're playing well right now. I mean, it could go either way, but Jacksonville, it's an overseas game, I believe, for y'all too.
Yeah.
So I could definitely see the Falcons taking a step back here in the next couple games. The Dolphins have a tough schedule, and like I said earlier, but the Cowboys kind of have. I don't know about necessarily regressing to the mean. And I did have the Cowboys missing the playoffs, which is I don't know if it's looking too good right now. But
I mean, Cowboys, they got a stretch coming up at the end, towards the end of the season. That is like, all right, now, yeah, be on y'all shit. Otherwise, they can lose 5 straight, legit.
Yeah, for sure.
Who you talking about?
Cowboys.
The Cowboys. They've got a mean stretch. Like I said, I'll say it again. Really, after this Arizona game, you got New England. It's not going to be an easy game. Not to say that they shouldn't win, but New England. Then you got at San Fran, at LA Chargers, which is a Sunday night game and a Monday night game. Then you have a bye week. Then you come back and play the Rams, then at Philly, then against the Giants, then at Carolina, but then this last, like I said, from game 12 through 18, you got the Commanders, then Seattle, you got the Thursday night against the Commanders is on Thanksgiving. Then they play the Seattle on Thursday the very next week. Mm-hmm. Then they play y'all, the Eagles, on Sunday Night Football. Then they go at Buffalo, at Miami, the Lions, and then at the Commanders. So
wait, they don't
like it is.
What were you about to say?
No. Okay, never mind. Tripping.
It is feasible. I don't know how the Commanders will be playing that late in the season, so I'm not even gonna count them. But it is still feasible. But you talking like Seattle, Philly, Buffalo, Miami, both
Miami.
That's a tough stretch. That's a tough stretch. Like. The Cowboys look good now. I mean, you know.
We'll see. But so if I would have to go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Make your pick.
I was gonna say if I'd have to pick, I'd probably choose either the Commanders or the Falcons. Well, actually, I'll say the Commanders or the Falcons because the Commanders play Buffalo.
I was gonna say the Commanders.
Then they play the Eagles next week in Philly. Then they get a cake game against the Bears, stat game, and then they play the Falcons. So I mean, it's a couple tough games that we're really going to kind of see what the Commanders are really about in the next couple games. So I would say either them or the Falcons. I could see kind of going back to the mean and becoming more of like a 500 team.
I strongly disagree with you on that, obviously, but I would say the Commanders are definitely one. But I'm also looking at the Buccaneers, and I feel like they have the most potential for shit to just go wrong. They, of course, got the Eagles, and then
on Monday night,
and then they come up with the Saints the week after that. That's gonna be a tough game, a very tough game. Sure. Saints at home. Then you got the Lions, Falcons, Buffalo. That's a tough 3-game stretch. Then you got the Texans, but then you got the Titans, 49ers, Colts. Like you're playing, and that's because they won the division last year, of course. So they had the tougher schedule out of all this. You got the Panthers, Buccaneers.
For sure.
You got the Packers and Jags. Like they got a tougher schedule than the Falcons, or like they got a tough schedule. So
they do have a tough schedule.
It's gonna be interesting to see how they cope with that. But I think the Buccaneers are the team that's like most likely going to regress back.
I said the Commanders. I mean, off rip, they got the Bears and Eagles back to back right now, and so that could easily be 0-2. And then obviously, like you said, you got the Bears, whatever. Then you got the Falcons. You go back to the division again. You got the Giants, then us again, then the Patriots, Seahawks, and then the Giants, then the Cowboys. So it's like you go on all these division games right in the middle.
It's because of the division. Their division is tough. Yeah,
their division is right in the middle. So it's like, dang it. So I said the Commanders.
Okay, so we got basically Commanders, Bucks. It sounds like for the most part. What team are y'all thinking that's gonna stay undefeated the longest?
Oh, good question. I would say I don't know because the 49ers, I think that game might be the game.
Whoever wins that stays longer.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else is the other schedules play. Like Baltimore plays. Who does Baltimore play coming up?
They play us this week, Colts this week, which could possibly be with a backup quarterback. Then they play at Cleveland, at Pittsburgh, then Tennessee, Detroit, at Arizona.
Yeah. No, I think they'll lose a game before then. I think the Dolphins have the Broncos, Bills, Giants. I don't know, man. I'm gonna. It's a tough one.
I think Miami's gonna take that L to Buffalo. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I think so too.
I think they're gonna take a mean L too.
And the Buffalo's at home. I think they'll lose that game. So yeah, I think the winner of that Cowboys 49ers one would be the last standing.
Undefeated. What about you, Chris?
Man, look, it's probably gonna be the 49ers. It's just the scheduling for because I would say the Eagles, but we got a tough middle part of our schedule. Like, let me pull it up.
Oh, I forgot about y'all. Y'all asked.
Yeah, I did too, actually.
Of course I did. But I mean, we got the Bucks for now, then Commanders, Rams, and Jets. Jets not as good as we thought right now. But then we turn around, we have the Dolphins Monday on a Sunday night. Then we had the Commanders. Then we had the Cowboys. We got a bye week. Then we have the Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, then the Cowboys.
Then the Seahawks.
Then the Seahawks. That shit is nasty.
But no, looking at that coming into our predictions, that's why I didn't have y'all winning the division. Because that's a nasty ass schedule.
I mean, the Cowboys got a tough. I mean,
they got a tough one, but it's not.
They're at the end. Ours in the middle, like smack in the middle. Like literally, we come off a bye. We play the Cowboys, go into a bye week, then come out playing the Chiefs, Bills, 49ers, and then the Cowboys again.
That's tough. That's gonna.
So, you going with the 49ers?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the 49ers. They'll probably stay undefeated longer. Longest.
So I'm gonna stick with the team that I said was gonna be the best team in the league with the Ravens.
Okay.
Because I think I honestly, and I'm not trying to be a homer here once again, I just think that they would have matched up well. I think the toughest game that they have over this next stretch would have actually been against the Colts, just because of the Anthony Richardson element and how bad Cleveland and Pittsburgh's offense is going to be or has been.
Mm-hmm.
But a couple things that I wanted to go ahead.
It's just those division games. I don't know. Yeah. It's tough to pick those.
So that's what I was going to say. If the Ravens are able to get past the Colts, Cleveland, and Pittsburgh, which I think Pittsburgh would be the biggest game that he always struggles against Pittsburgh.
Mm-hmm.
If that would have them at 5-0. I really don't know when they would take their next loss, because I think they would beat Tennessee. I think they would beat the Lions at home. Arizona, I mean, we're not even gonna. Seattle, I mean, possibly Cleveland.
They're at home.
I just don't trust Cleveland. I don't trust Cleveland's offense at all right now. So, especially with Nick Chubb going. We don't know what Cincinnati's going to look like week 11. So now we're back at week 12, which that could be it against the Chargers
on
for their bye week. But even then, coming out of their bye week, they've got the Rams, Jacksonville, at San Fran, then Miami, then Pittsburgh. So that's kind of a tough stretch to end.
That's a tough end.
But
yeah, I mean, to get if they get past this Cleveland Steelers and get the 5-0, I agree with you. The next one, it'll have to be something crazy for them to
so now when I was looking over that got me to start thinking, and this goes back to my prediction in the first episode about how I have Lamar winning MVP, them going to the Super Bowl, as well as winning the Super Bowl. So when are we going to start having the conversation? And I mean, obviously we have to see, it's very, very early. It's very early. But when are we going to start go back and having the conversation about Lamar being the rival to Pat Mahomes? Because now we've been talking about Burrow. We've been talking about Josh Allen. Josh Allen is in Lamar's draft class. Obviously, Lamar's already won an MVP. Josh did beat him in the playoffs already, and Josh has a couple more playoff wins. But now we're talking, if my prediction is right, and we're not only are we talking about Pat Mahomes versus Lamar, we're also having to start look at Lamar as an all-time great quarterback. Because now we're talking about 2 MVPs and a Super Bowl, and it's probably a Super Bowl MVP as well. At that point, these are the only quarterbacks that have two MVPs and a Super Bowl. Manning, Brady, Steve Young, Montana, Kurt Warner, Aaron Rodgers, Pat Mahomes, Brett Favre, and Johnny Unitas. So that's...
Wait, Pat has 2 MVPs?
That's good.
Yeah, he won MVP this last year.
Oh, yeah, I'm tripping.
So that's everybody that has more than one MVP period. Not or at quarterback, not including Jim Brown. That's everybody that has at least 2 MVPs, and they've all won a Super Bowl. So now we're talking about Lamar's in a class of at that point it'd be one of 10 quarterbacks.
10, yeah. I mean, okay. The odds are stacked against them, though. I don't think.
Are they at this point?
Not to win MVP,
undefeated,
but to win the Super Bowl. To me, in my opinion, yeah.
At this point, they're undefeated. At the beginning of their careers, like, it was kind of viewed as Lamar versus Pat Mahomes, and then obviously like Lamar started getting injured, Josh kind of started elevating, and then obviously Joe Burrow in the past couple of years. But I mean, Lamar also, what is he, like the 5th winningest quarterback in the history of the league or something like that? Like, he's definitely in the top like 6, 7. So I mean, when are we going to start having that conversation? And then if he does win MVP this year, we're also looking at him winning and playing quarterback 2 different styles, because even though he did lead the league in touchdown passes his first MVP year, obviously a lot of it had to do with him rushing for 1,000 yards and what he was doing with his legs. Now we're seeing him pass a little bit more. Right now, I believe he's leading the league in completion percentage. I mean, we're talking about Lamar as possibly like all-time great quarterback, like where we saw this man win 70% of his games being a run-first quarterback and also being a pass-first quarterback, 2 MVPs in a Super Bowl.
I mean, yes,
that's crazy to think about.
If you're saying that if your predictions happen this year, that is a conversation.
Very early.
Very.
But I mean, right now they're one of 2 undefeated teams in the AFC. I mean, if we go back and look at the past couple of years, if he didn't get hurt, they possibly would have been the 1 seed both the past 2 years. And I mean, obviously, it's still a possibility now. Obviously, they're the best team in the AFC right now, technically, per record.
I think we can. I mean, like
once we get to that Pittsburgh game, if we start looking at week 6 and the Ravens are still undefeated, we gotta start having that conversation. That conversation is gonna start.
We'll have it then.
We're gonna have to start having that conversation about Lamar being
right now
up there.
It's a little early. Anymore.
It's crazy to say though. I mean, but when you lay it out and like start looking at it, it's legit. It's legit.
All right, so let's flip to the bottom feeders of the league so far, in which 0-2 team is most likely to bounce back. So for 0-2, we have a lot of those too. We have Arizona, Cardinals, Carolina Panthers, Chicago Bears, Cincinnati Bengals, Denver Broncos, Houston Texans, Los Angeles Chargers, Minnesota Vikings, and the New England Patriots.
So off rip, Cards out of there. Texans
out of there.
Panthers, my bad, out of there. Bears, y'all are sad as fuck, out of there. So that leaves us with Chargers, Broncos, Bengals, Vikings, and then the Pats.
I think this shit is just process of elimination. If we're talking about bounce back, I'm thinking of make it to the playoffs, can like salvage their season, right?
Make it to the playoffs, or at least like.
Are we going that way?
Yeah, I'm.
Chargers.
I would say the Broncos are out of there.
Think so?
I think so. Yes, I think you cannot start off 2-0. I mean 0-2 at home. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough, man.
The tough part about it with the Bengals, man,
they own one in the division.
Joe Burrow. It's like it's really all on him. It's on him if he's gonna be healthy. If he's not playing, when he's coming back, and it's like you can salvage your season, but it's like, is he going to be healthy if and when he comes back? So that's why I said I think the Chargers.
And then the Bengals are already 0-2 in the division.
I already had the Chargers being their division winner. And looking at their schedule, I mean, this will give us a good answer on two of these teams because they play the Vikings this week. So obviously one of them is going to have to win, and whoever goes 0-3, I mean, you're out of there. You're out of there.
The thing about the Chargers, though, man, is like Herbert's kind of balling. Like he's doing what he has to do. And I mean, the offense has put up 58 points in these last two games,
and the
defense has given up 60. So I mean, it's like how much like
watching that Tennessee game is like they were just killing themselves with penalties too, like dumb penalties. I mean, and it's the same thing from the first game, just dumb plays. Like I said, that bad stretch, like 3-play stretch that JC Jackson had, which was like Jalen Hyde.
Yeah.
But I mean,
there were two tough opponents though. But that defense does not look good. But that being said, I think the offense is still legit enough to bounce back.
Oh yeah.
And especially out of what I'm seeing from everybody else 0-2 right now.
So they had the Vikings and Raiders back to back in the next two games. So those are two obviously winnable games. And then that's when things kind of get a little interesting for them. They got the Cowboys and then at Kansas City back to back, which I mean, they could beat both teams, honestly.
They really could.
Especially with Kellen Moore going back to, or
he's gonna be ready. He's gonna be soup for that.
Yeah, he's gonna be ready. And then they get back on a little lull where they play the Bears, Jets, Lions. I mean, I don't want to say the Lions.
Man, it seems like the Bears on everybody's schedule, ain't it?
Yeah, Bears food.
That's Bears. They be lucky to win a game this season.
Everybody's schedule.
They gonna be lucky to win a game.
Oh my god, niggas really had Justin Fields the
MVP. That's about they like literally before the season, bro. Like the odds.
When they say it's 15 games left.
Man, no disrespect to Justin Fields. Obviously, he's incredibly talented, but these niggas really say MVP.
Yeah, that shouldn't even been a topic of conversation. That shit is wild. But outside of the Chargers, though, I would say my second one would probably be the Vikings, just because of the NFC. But other than that, man, I don't. So the Patriots are. I don't think the Patriots are going to bounce.
I believe in the Patriots, honestly. So they would probably be my second choice behind, because I don't think that, obviously we talked about it enough, but Joe Burrow, just go ahead and sit this one out, bro. But the Patriots, they've got their two moral victories after the past 2 weeks, but man, they need to get Mac Jones give him a receiver or something. Give him a receiver. I promise you, they will go out there and make some noise for real.
I hear you, but I don't believe it. I don't think Mac Jones is good enough.
So they got the Jets coming at Jets, at Cowboys, then versus the Saints, at Raiders, then the Bills, then
they'll be lucky. They'll be lucky to be 2-4 after that story.
Bills, then at Dolphins, Commanders, then we're gonna smack them. Colts are. And then at Giants, Chargers, at Steelers, Chiefs, at Broncos, at Bills.
That is nasty.
Get them out of there. Get them out of there.
Nasty work.
Get them out of there.
That is nasty.
Yo, that's crazy.
I'm sorry. Yeah, but look, if they trade for if the Bucks go down and they trade for Mike Evans, I reserve the right to change my pick.
Mike Evans a fucking dog, man. Yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be tough for all these 0-2 teams because they all got some tough schedules. Like I'm looking at the Vikings schedule now. Like you said, Chargers this week. They got the Panthers, but then they got Chiefs, Bears, 49ers, Packers, Falcons, Saints. That's a tough.
I know they're in the division, but everybody playing the Bears.
Yeah,
food.
So I don't know, but yeah, I'll say the Vikings are my second. But I think the Chargers are most poised. But again, we'll see the winner of this Chargers-Vikings game.
And I mean, it's a big game, obviously, for their season hopes. But for the Chargers head coach, big game. You go 0-3, you can go ahead and
brings us here. Yeah, so coach is on the hot seat, man.
Yeah, he out of there if they go 0-3.
Staley, he's I don't think he makes it a Monday.
Obviously, we're not talking. We said coaches on the hot seat, but player on the hot seat, Kirk Cousins. Obviously, Kirk Cousins has played well for the most part for the first 2 weeks, but you go 0-3, probably out of there.
You said trade to the Jets?
I mean,
I doubt he gets traded to the Jets, but the 49ers.
I would like to see it. The 49ers.
Not this year.
Not
this year, but next year, depending on how their season ends. That's something to keep an eye on. Like obviously Kyle Shanahan, they said Kyle Shanahan offered the third overall pick when they drafted Nick Bosa. They offered him to try to get Kirk Cousins, and they didn't get a call back. I don't know why, but
that's interesting.
No disrespect to Kirk Cousins, but I mean that's another big thing to watch. And then also Justin Jefferson, they were talking about how he was going to get his contract at the beginning of the year. Yeah. He didn't. The Vikings have gotten rid of Randy Moss. They've gotten rid of Stephon Diggs. There's no guarantee that they'll pay Justin Jefferson just based off precedent.
Especially if you're losing.
Yeah, right. Especially if you're losing.
You can put up. I mean, he's put up monster numbers in his first 2 games, and if you do that again and lose to the Chargers, which is very possible because that Chargers defense is very suspect, then that's not a good look. It's tough. That's always been the case though with receivers. It's like they judge it based off, okay, you got these numbers, but if we're losing, and that's kind of how it was with OBJ. It's kind of how it was with I mean, like, wait, what I'm gonna pay you all this money for if it's tough.
And that's not the only. I mean, this is not somebody that's been talked to.
Packers treat Devontae. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say 2 other people on the hot seat or coaches on the hot seat, possibly. That's not talked about. I mean, it's been talked about a little bit, but Bill Belichick, obviously, you start off 0-3. Start off 0-3. Obviously, the team is not talentless. They have talent on the team, but they need to figure something out of how they're like going about their offense because it's not what it should be. They don't give, like I keep saying and beating a dead horse, Mac Jones needs somebody other than Juju being his number 1 receiver. I'm sorry. But another person to think about is Zach Taylor for the Bengals. They go 0-3. You're coming off he was on the hot seat before Joe Burrow got there and obviously turned him up. So, he got saved by going.
Hey, like we didn't forget.
But, now you're what is this, Burrow's 4th year? Mm-hmm. You're in Burrow's 4th year. His first year he tears his ACL. Second year y'all go to the Super Bowl. Third year, coming into the year, he had like an appendectomy or something like that. And then coming into this year, obviously the calf injury, and then depending on if they let him keep playing and what the result of that is, if he gets further injury or if they just have a bad season. Now we're looking at Zach Taylor. Are you that coach that's going to help us get to that next step in winning the Super Bowl? Like, obviously you got us there, but I mean, we see that all the time with teams. We saw that with the Broncos a couple years ago when they got rid of John Fox and then they brought in Kubiak with Peyton Manning in them. So I mean, that's always something to pay attention to and watch. So
saw with Dan Quinn.
Yeah.
Same type of deal, honestly.
Well, I wouldn't say that's the same type of deal. That's a little different because I told you guys when that happened that losing that way.
Oh yeah, okay.
You gotta get rid of when you lose like that. You gotta get rid of.
You gotta clean house. Gotta clean that house.
Clean house. And it's no disrespect against the players and but when you lose that way, that shit stink and that shit stay over all of them. And that's it. Got to get rid of everybody. Julio, I would have got rid of Julio, Matt Ryan the next day. Like, no disrespect to y'all boys. Y'all still great.
I can't do it.
But y'all got to go. Got to go.
It's tough. All right. Yeah, let's look forward. Let's go ahead and preview week 3. Let's see where we at there. So I mean, honestly, it's not that many big games this week compared to last week. I guess because we don't know exactly what these 0-2 teams are like looking like.
Just said fuck me.
Yeah.
Got him.
So Thursday night we have San Francisco versus the Giants. Y'all think there's any resistance? Y'all think the Giants have any chance of pulling out? I mean,
man, without Saquon, no.
Not without Saquon.
No.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is gonna be out there running for his life. But yeah,
Nick Bosa gonna be on that man.
I wouldn't be surprised if it looks very similar to maybe not as the score exactly, but I wouldn't be surprised if it looked very similar to that week 1 demolition from the Cowboys. So I'm gonna go with the 49ers in the Thursday night game tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't think there's any chance. I mean, big games, okay. Atlanta, Detroit, that could be a good one. New Orleans, Green Bay could be a good one. Broncos at Miami, I don't know, man. Miami might beat the shot of them.
Chargers, Minnesota. I mean, that's only because they both are 0-2. So
really, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Depending on if Anthony Richardson plays, I mean, it's not a big game per se, but a fun game to watch definitely would be watching Anthony versus Lamar.
Probably my favorite game. I have 2 that I really want to watch, and that's New Orleans at Green Bay, and then Buffalo at Washington. I think those 2 tell a lot about these teams.
It's not showing up at the bottom. The Rams and Bengals.
Yeah, this one. Yeah,
that could be a good game depending on. Obviously, we got to find out a little bit more about Joe Burrow's health.
Mm-hmm.
Sneaky game: Browns Titans. Two tough-minded, scrappy teams. I mean, that's going to be a close.
That could be
a terrible quarterback play.
That could be a very ugly game. But I wouldn't be surprised to see that game going to the end and going or ending on a game-winning field goal or in overtime.
Another sneaky one I would say would be New England and Jets because I feel like your boy Matt Jones got something to prove.
And so does
New England they need to win that game.
They can't lose to the Jets. You said what?
Win.
They I mean, yeah, but New England can't lose this.
New England cannot go 0-3 to start the season, especially lose to the Jets.
Okay, I think. Let's run it. Let's run down and get your picks in. So
all right, let's go to our big games, get our picks in, and put it on the chart.
So Detroit and the Falcons.
No, I got it.
So Cass got the Falcons. Who you got, Chris?
I don't like the injuries for Detroit, man. I'm not liking that. I'm gonna go with the Falcons. I'm not liking the injuries for Detroit right now.
I kind of want to go with the Falcons too, but I'm gonna stick with Detroit. I think Jahmyr Gibbs has his breakout game. We kind of saw Bijan, if I'm saying it right. He kind of had his breakout game last week. I think Gibbs gets his breakout game this weekend, and the Detroit wins in a close one.
All right, we'll see.
I told you they're gonna lose one of the next 2.
I mean, you were wrong about Green Bay last week, so
I was, but they was whooping that ass, and y'all gritted it out.
All right, New Orleans, Green Bay. I think this is a big game, man. I think this is and Green Bay's at home.
I think it depends on if Aaron Jones and or Christian Watson plays. If either of them, if they both don't play, I'm going to go with New Orleans. But if one of them plays, I'm going Green Bay at home.
I'm going to go with New Orleans.
I'm going to go Green Bay. No, regardless of either them playing or not.
I think they need them young boys ain't gonna be able to deal with Marshawn. They need they need somebody. They need as many weapons out there as they can get. But I think Christian Watson practiced on Friday.
He did. He practiced today.
Then he practiced today, so I think he's gonna be good to go.
So you what? If Christian Watson, you going Green Bay? What's up?
Yeah. I'm going Green. If one of them plays, if either Aaron Jones or Christian Watson plays, I'm going Green Bay. But if they're both out, then I got New Orleans.
Funny. All right,
baby.
Let's do shit. Let's see who gets their first win: Chargers or Vikings.
I'm going Chargers.
Chargers.
They got to. They got to. I think the Vikings are pending implosion.
I will be very disappointed if the Chargers lose this game. I'm gonna go Chargers too. I'll be very disappointed they lose this game.
I'll be very disappointed too.
They lose this game, like Staley's gone.
It's a wrap for it's a wrap for a lot though, because
that's true.
I mean, you don't know what happens with Mike Williams or Keenan as they get up in age, or Austin Eckler. Obviously, he was trying to get a contract.
Yeah,
so.
he's still hurt too, which is a big if he doesn't play too, that's a big loss for him. But
yeah, so
Buffalo Commanders. You think Washington keeps it up there at home?
It's a tough game, and it's going to be a lot better than people think. But I'm Josh Allen. I think I feel like he's on a mission. Honestly, I feel like that first game was a bad game. He was a little bit too in his head, but similar to how I feel about Lamar, I think Josh Allen's on a mission this year, and I think he's going to go ahead and pull it out the win.
If Josh Allen don't play hero ball, they're going to coast and win this.
Yeah, I got Buffalo as well. All right. What's the next one you want to do? I mean,
I wouldn't say they're gonna coast to win it, because you also got to think the enemy has done a good job scheming against Buffalo the past couple years. So I mean, that's something to watch. I think it's gonna be a real good game. But I mean, we can go ahead and go with Denver and Miami. You think Russ gets his first win?
No.
Damn.
No.
I do not think they're not going to Miami and pulling that out. I don't see no way in hell. Honestly,
you know what? It's not even Russ, man. That Denver defense has been
terrible,
man.
Tyreek Hill's about to. I get PS2, but
that defense been nasty.
They will be without Waddle, possibly. He's in concussion protocol, Jalen Waddle, so that's a big one.
But you know how they do in Miami. They don't care. They don't care. They don't care.
Oh my god!
There's something wrong with this nigga, bro.
Yo, all right. Let's just
leave this nigga alone.
Leave that shit alone. I think the next really good game after that, Philly Tampa Bay on Monday night.
Fly, Eagles, fly. What you mean? Yo. Go ahead, pick Tampa Bay, Cass. I know you want to.
Why would I pick Tampa Bay?
I want to, but I'm gonna go with the Tampa. I'm going Eagles. I'm going the Eagles. The Eagles gonna figure it out. You know, they got the extended rest with going from a Thursday night game to a Monday night game. So
needed that, boy.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So I just think they're probably going. We'll see. Well, they'll get Bradbury back, because I think he was just in concussion protocol.
He was just in concussion protocol.
So they'll have him back most likely, and yeah, they're gonna win convincingly.
Yeah, I agree. I would say, okay, so the next couple of games, Indianapolis, and Baltimore, and then Rams, Bengals. That just depends on if Anthony Richardson and Joe Burrow play. I'm assuming they're both going to be out.
Hey man, so don't sleep on Minshew.
So let's go. I mean, okay, sure, but let's go Tennessee, Cleveland as our last game that we'll pick. I think that's a good one to pick.
Oh man, I'm gonna go Cleveland. I just think their defense is better, and I feel like they will put the Cleveland in a better position to make scores versus Tennessee putting their offense in better position.
I really want to say Tennessee. because they're so tough, but I want to say Tennessee, but I'm gonna go with Cleveland at home too. I'm gonna go with Cleveland at home. I think they're gonna dominate the line of scrimmage probably with both their offense and defense. They know that Nick Chubb's gonna be missing, so I think this is gonna be a big game for Deshaun Watson. Kind of a big game to kind of show. It's gonna be a big game for him in general. Where
that's why I got Tennessee. I don't think he's gonna show up. It's gonna be a huge game for Deshaun Watson.
He's got to show up.
Huge for him.
And I think Tennessee's gonna make him pass the ball. They're not gonna let them run. Not gonna let them have a lot of success running the ball. So I think I think Deshaun comes through this time, and the Browns will get the dub.
We'll see.
But with that being said, what y'all got for upsets? Any upsets that y'all or anybody that should be on upset alert?
Man, look.
Yeah, actually, I got one.
Who? I'd say it.
Anybody say some bullshit? I don't
say
like how you're looking.
Chicago. No,
I knew you were
I'll just play. No, real talk. I mean, would you consider that? I don't know who's favored in that Pittsburgh Raiders game. I'm assuming it would be Pittsburgh, but I can see the Raiders winning that one. But that's really the only one I can really see that's close to it. Oh, actually, no, I take that back. Houston could beat Jacksonville. I take that back. That'll be my one.
They got Raiders 2.5.
Okay. Well, because they at home.
So technically, it is the Steelers because you're supposed to get 3. Yeah,
for home. Yeah, I'm gonna go Houston. I think Houston will be. I think Jacksonville should be on upset alert.
I think Jacksonville should be on upset alert. Well, obviously, I'm gonna go with my squad. I'm gonna say the Ravens should be on upset alert if.
That could be.
Doesn't play. If Anthony Richardson doesn't play, I think they should be on upset alert.
You think Minshew? Okay, that's interesting. I think
that they'll be able to confuse Anthony Richardson. I don't think they'll be able to confuse Minshew as well. And the Colts D line is good enough that they'll be able to compete with their offense with OBJ missing, in my opinion. But since there's an unknown at the quarterback, I'm also go with you and say the Texans and Jags. I came into the season saying that the Jags aren't that good, and aside from a few special throws in the first game from Trevor Lawrence, I mean the Colts. I'm a little homer here, but I felt like the Colts really outplayed them. Obviously, Kansas City really outplayed them in this past week, and I mean their offense hasn't looked very impressive. Like I said, outside of the couple special throws that Trevor did make in the first week, and I think that Houston they'll get some linemen back this week, and I think Houston should have them on upset alert, and it's a division game.
That's true. Chris, who you got? Upset alert.
Just 'cause I don't like them, I'm gonna say the Cowboys on upset alert. Cardinals played good last week. They really should have blew them out. Should have blew the Giants out like they did Dallas. The only reason why they let them come back is because
they about to have Josh Dobbs in hell, boy.
Yeah, it probably is, but I don't see nothing else on this daggone schedule. I mean, I could go with.
You can go. Well, that's a division.
I mean, I did pick. Okay, I'll go with this one. I did pick Buffalo, but I will put them on upset alert.
Okay,
I'll go with that one. I'll put them on upset alert. I mean, Washington is 2-0. Their defense is tough. They might make it hard on Josh Allen. We don't know. They, force him to some bad throws. Then he feel like he got to pressure and do it all. Then he start doing some crazy stuff. So I say Buffalo upset alert.
Okay.
All right. I thought one of y'all picked. Well, no, because I think the Giants, man.
Nah, hell no, man. Listen, I really want to switch the Giants to the Cowboys.
If this game is close, that's an issue.
Yeah, facts.
Something went wrong.
But shit, as we come to a close of episode 3. What's y'all's normal Sunday look like? What's y'all setup look like?
Oh man, so I've been doing the YouTube TV, 4 screen, and also having my laptop open. So this Sunday, I had Red Zone on the laptop. It wasn't a lot of games I was trying to see. It was actually only 4 games I was trying to see. So I just had the 4 games on the screen for both time slots. Mm-hmm. I don't really like this 2 games on Monday thing though, man, because that shit fucks me up when I'm trying to like flip back and forth. Because like, and this Monday I was kind of like out and about, so it was kind of tough to watch both those games. I mean, they were both ugly, but they were both like close, so I did want to watch them live to see what happened. But it was, and we got one more week of 2 Monday night games. I think that shit is just a dumb idea to begin with.
Yeah. What about you, Chris?
Yeah, I actually usually have a particular game that I like that I wanted to see on the big screen. So whether it's the Eagles playing, I have them, or like usually like 1:00 games, because since I'm in Atlanta, it's usually the Falcon game. I have that on Fox on the big screen, and I have my pad set up with the other games and looking at them like that.
Yeah, so you like me. I typically had the Colts on the big screen, and then the Falcons I typically have on at least some screen somewhere. And then with the Sunday ticket, I did the 4 games. Well, this week, typically I don't like having the Colts like split up into 4 games. I like having them full screen, but this week I did keep it. I just had a feeling we was about to whoop the Houston's ass, so I was just like, fuck it, I'm rocking with it. So this week I had them, but probably this week with the Ravens, I'll probably keep them on the full screen and kind of pull up the 4 on my laptop. Y'all got any go-tos that y'all have that y'all snack on during the day?
I haven't. Honestly, last year I was more routine with it, but this year I haven't really got. Like I'd be so like I guess it's because I'm too involved in the game now, especially the Falcons game, right? So like last year it was kind of just like whatever, I'm gonna eat. But I can eat. I can eat during these games. I'll be on the edge, man. I'll be honest with you.
I don't be having no snack, but I sure be having a drink right there, man. Either has a Crown right there, or I go use my Bartesian, but I usually have like something like Crown.
Slight flex.
Yeah, for real.
What?
I just use my Bartesian, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I usually have Crown. I be drinking.
Can't hide money, boy.
Yelling at the TV and stuff, just typical stuff. Just yelling.
Everybody ain't able.
Yeah, everybody ain't able. I've been making them air fry wings the past couple weeks, so I think I'm probably gonna keep it going because them shit's hitting the spot.
I just love this ritual of just Sundays, man. I'm so glad to shit back. But then you got like it's about to be how intense this NFL season is probably gonna get, how close it is, and then you got NBA starting back soon. Baseball's coming up on the playoffs.
Yeah,
Braves.
It's the best,
best
time of the year.
Yeah, man.
October is the best time of the year when everything is going on.
Everything starts coming together.
Yeah, yeah. But shit, y'all, signing off on episode 3 of the Speak Up Sports Podcast. Cass, Chris, and Shad. We're going into we'll see how this week goes. Week 3, we'll be back here on next Thursday.
Yes, sir.